Let's go to corner. Same discussion, except we're talking Verrett. They don't have to replace him, but I think they got to back him up because he's great. But we know his history. And even last year, which was as good of a season he's ever had, he pulled his hamstring in camp, missed the first 2 games. What is the backup plan here? Because if they lose him, I think you're going back to a bad secondary.
So I think you're right. I think the corner position, if they lose Jason Verrett, becomes like bad. It's not. It won't be good. It'll be one of the worst starting corner tandems in the NFL. And
we're talking Dante Johnson and Emmanuel Mosley. Yeah,
Emmanuel Mosley is a really solid player. He's a corner 2 always. He's not your cornerback 1.
Yeah.
Yes. And so here's the thing. I think that you've actually covered the first scenario, and that's kind of the Debbie Downer, oh no, what happens if he gets hurt scenario? I think they need to draft one, even if the best case scenario, what happens? What happens if Jason Verrett starts 17 games, okay? What happens? He's probably going to play great because he's never not played great when he played in the NFL. Sans 4 snaps versus the Pittsburgh Steelers when he returned in 2019. So he's going to probably play great. And that means that he's going to command a salary of $10 to $12 million in the open market. If you're the 49ers, is it prudent to pay a 31 or 32-year-old corner $10 to $12 million? Probably not. Are you going to have that kind of money knowing that if Nick Bosa stays healthy, that extension is 100% imminent, and the Fred Warner extension is going to kick in, and Eric Armstead is going to go to Eric Armstead is going to go to $20 million in terms of his cap hit? Probably not. So if the best case scenario happens, you need a corner. And I think the reason that the Niners are in such a good spot is because this is a really deep corner class. I don't know if there's no, in my opinion at least, there's no Jalen Ramsey, Patrick Peterson in this draft. A guy that you just say, Marshawn Lattimore, take him in the top 5 picks, elite athlete, elite technique. You put him on one side and he's going to start at corner for you for the next 5-6 years. I don't look at it any corner like this. I know JC Horn's really good. I know Surtain is good, but I think they all have individual question marks, which is why they're not cinched top 5, top 6 picks. Because if they were Jalen Ramsey in this draft, Atlanta at 4, nobody would mock Kyle Pitts. Everyone would say, well, you don't have to take quarterback. Just take the best player available. That's Jalen Ramsey. Take done deal, right? But what we do know about this draft is that there's I think Mel Kiper said he thinks 40 corners are capable of going between rounds 1 through 7. So there's massive depth. And we've seen guys like Tyson Campbell tested decently. Greg Newsome tested really well. Eric Stokes tested really well. There's a lot of guys. There's a lot of names I'm missing that tested really well throughout this process that are going to be available in round 2 and round 3. And the benefit that the Niners have is at least in their short term, there's no expectation for that guy to start. So you can get a toolsy guy and teach him technique. Kelvin Joseph is another one. And you can teach him technique, have him play hard on special teams. And by year 2, he can be your starting corner on one side. Or maybe year 1, he takes the job from Emmanuel Mosley. You can kick Emmanuel Mosley inside. And now you have your kind of secondary for the year after if K'Wan Williams walks. Because he's another guy, if everything goes right, he's not going to have a $2 million deal on the table next offseason. So when you look at all those things, I think corners in need. I think they actually need to double dip. I don't think it's just you take one corner and the corner position is fixed. I think you need to do what the Green Bay Packers did in 2018 when they took Jair Alexander at 18 and then they took Josh Jackson in the 40s. You got to do that. You got to take one in the second round, one in the third round. You got to bring them into camp because the Niners need bodies.
Wow. So we both agree they should take a corner with their second pick. No question. See, I was going to lean towards offensive line with the third pick, but I'm intrigued. Back-to-back corner. I can't argue with it. I like it. The only thing is I think offensive line is a big need too, and I'm not really in favor of waiting for like the Colton McKivitz 5th round sweet spot. But there is the 4th round. They got pick 117, which is only 15 after 102. So, yeah, if they went cornerback and on day 2, that would be bold and smart. I see it. I like it.
The way I see it with offensive line is right now I think they put a short-term Band-Aid on it with Alex Mack. And I think it's going to stick for this year. And next year, the wax of that Band-Aid might be coming off. And you might have to rip the Band-Aid off midseason. When you have to rip it off, that's when I say that next draft, when they still maintain their picks, right? Because outside of the first round, they've maintained their picks. That's where that second round pick might have to be a developmental tackle or a developmental guard or a developmental center, a guy that you can have on your team ready to go for the year after. And I do think a guy in the offensive line that people are discounting and a guy who had real traits who I was excited about. Then he hurt himself. He broke his ankle and opted out. And that's Sean Coleman. He has real traits to be a left tackle in the NFL. He's really big. He moves well for his size. Now, I don't know if you can expect anything after 2 years of not seeing him play football and all of that, but him coming back, I think that he's a better backup tackle than School, than Brunskill, than all of them. In terms of just physical attributes, he has the most attributes of any backup player on that offensive line.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. I mean, they need a starting caliber backup right tackle, someone with traits. That's really important.
We'll see. Because I think a lot of what their plans will, I mean, they have till May 3rd. I think they're going to for sure take the Mike McGlinchey 5th-year option, but no, it's actually, I don't know who's taking the 5th-year option yet. I haven't seen anybody take it. Even Sam Darnold, the Panthers then said, no, they're not going to take it, which I think is a smart move. Wait until if Justin Fields is there at 8, like, what are you doing? Sam Darnold for a year and then go with Justin Fields.
Right. Amit says, stop the Trey Lance hype. He has mechanical flaws. He can't get his feet right in adverse situations when he's rushed for time, has pressure in his face. To say that's going to get fixed is a stretch.
Yeah, but they all have flaws. Whoever you like, you're going to say his things are going to get fixed. Whoever you don't like, you're going to say the things are not going to get fixed.